Good morning everybody. It's the 2nd of August today, 2019, and what a lovely morning. There's been a lot of heavy thunderstorms about in the north of England, and the poor people at Whaley Bridge are obviously very concerned about whether the dam would hold, but this part of Lincolnshire we've been fairly lucky in the fact that over the last week we've had about 2 inches or just more of rain, and we're going to start harvesting the oilseed rape later today. So I thought I'd just come and take a look at this crop that I put in at the end of May. I sowed it by hand. It's a conservation area which I've got close to my house, just to show you what's in here. And you can see there's some blue flowers, and there's loads of bees as well, honeybees particularly. The blue flowers that you can see, these ones here, are borage, and the bees just love this borage. And next door to it here is phacelia. There you can see the phacelia as well. There's other plants as well. The yellow plant down the bottom there, you probably all know as bird's foot trefoil. And there's a red one there. There's a red plant, if I can just pick that one out. That one is red clover. And you can see the clover in the bottom there, and the bees love that as well. And I put this in as a bumblebee and bird mix for them. But also, you'll notice there's plants like this, plants like that, and plants like this one as well, which are all plants that I do not particularly want here. And there's some mayflower there as well, and here's some mugwort. And these are all annuals, and we don't want annuals in here. I've actually sown perennials, which will keep on coming up year after year for the bees to eat. For the bees to eat on and get the nectar and the pollen. And so the problem is, how do we get rid of these annual plants like these annual thistles and leave what we do want? And the answer is over here, and I've just done it this morning. I have an identical second strip just across the grass, and this is it. This is it now. Both these two plots were identical an hour ago, and I've cut this one down. It's absolutely brutal, and it took me quite a while to do it as well, because I had to keep stopping for the bees. It's interesting, the honeybees moved out the way ever so quickly. They can feel the vibrations and see the red ride-on mower coming, but the bumblebees really had no idea of danger, and I had to keep stopping all the time to get them to fly out the way, and the result is absolute devastation. But the idea is that this farmer just hasn't had too much of the Lincolnshire sun. He knew exactly what he was doing, in the fact that if I keep on cutting this strip, which I'm going to do now 2 or 3 more times this year, and keep it relatively low, all the plants which I have planted, which are perennial, will quite happily respond to that, where all the annual plants will die. And next year I will have in here just about 100% of the plants that I want. I didn't have the heart to do it on the second plot over here, so I've left this for the bees and the other insects. There's hoverflies and other things in here as well, and they will continue to feed on this. And then probably at the end of the year I will destroy all of this piece and then just re-sow it again next year. So there you can quite clearly see there's 3 insects. There's a bumblebee and 2 other. One was a hoverfly, I think the other one's a hoverfly as well. But the place is just alive with the noise of bees. And so this one will get destroyed at the end of the year, and I'll rotivate it up and re-sow it again in the next spring. There's a honeybee, and there's another honeybee. There's loads of honeybees this morning. And finally, one other thing to show you. They're not aggressive. When you walk through them, they've got no aggression towards me whatsoever. And it all started about 5 or 6 years ago. In this small strip of land here, I decided to put a bit of cover in here, and I put a mixture, and the phacelia came to dominate, and I just rotivated every year, and the phacelia come up again. And this year it came up ever so early, and it was in flower in May, and it was finished by the middle of June. So I just rotivated this again a week or 2 ago, and you can see the ground is absolutely thick with the volunteers. These are all the seeds from the previous crop, which have just volunteered themselves, and I think these will flower late on in the autumn. So the bees here are going to have 3 takes on this. They're going to have 2 takes off this, a big one off that, and they won't get anything now off the far plot, because I shall keep that as low as I can do. And it's all an experiment, but I mean it's well guided by King's Seed. They're telling me what to do in this process, because I've committed myself to about 10 or 15 acres of the farm next year, down to different mixes, either winter bird mix or nectar and pollen mixes, and it's all about the management of those crops to ensure we can get them to last for at least 5 years. So there'll be a huge benefit to the wildlife, and it's all part of the country stewardship scheme, which is on the go now, and I've joined. All of it is funded by EU money, which is just fantastic. They are great at putting money back into the countryside, and it just helps to pay for the seed and the selective sprays that I will need to keep these plots clean. And I'm loving it. Great fun. Good part of farming. Right, I'm going to get on. I've got plenty more to do today. See you later. Bye.